Hello everybody, this is Shane Lee. I want to talk to you about art versus idolatry. What is the difference between artwork in the church and idolatry? Well, in idolatry, you worship the statue as if it is Jesus Christ. It's not, it's just a representation of Him. Now, if you understand that you're praying to Jesus metaphorically and not literally through the statue, then you're not committing idolatry. But if you think you're actually communicating to Jesus through the statue, then you're committing idolatry. Now that's the whole point about the Catholic Church. Now if you consider it art and a representation of Jesus Christ, not His actual image, because we don't know what He looks like. No man has seen Jesus at any time except the disciples, and they didn't leave a description of Him. Because you're not supposed to worship the graven image of a human being. You're supposed to worship the eternal Spirit of God. Now, the reason Jesus Christ had female breasts, according to Revelations 1:13, is because He doesn't want us committing idolatry against His image and making Him male or female. Now the angels and Jesus had on a girdle. Theirs was gold. What a girdle is a belt. Okay? They took the belt and they put it around their chest. And the reason they did that was to flatten their female breast. Turn to Revelations 1:13 and remember what it says. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. Now the paps is the chest area and the female breast. Now that's why Jesus had on the golden girdle. Now go to Revelations 15. Verse 6. And the 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure white and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. Now the angels also had on golden girdles girded at the chest. This is where they were girded at. Now they had on golden girdles. I just have on a regular leather belt. Now this was so that you understand they that dwell in heaven are androgynous in nature. They're all male and female in one body. Now Adam and Eve, when God made first Adam, He made him with the woman in the man, because the woman was taken out of the man. Now, at the same time, God wants us to understand this and left us clues behind it. He said, "The breast of kings you shall suck, and the milk of Gentiles." A lot of people don't understand that Jesus is androgynous in nature, and as were the angels in heaven. But he wasn't male and female as we know male and female. That's why the Catholics get confused and divide it between Mary and Jesus. They try to make Jesus and Mary equal, and they're not. Mary was just the mother of Jesus. She was the woman chosen to bear the Son of God through the line of David. Now, she wasn't any more special than any other woman. That's why Jesus, when his mother and his brothers were outside, said to the crowd, "Behold, my mother and brother are they that do the will of God." And my sisters. So we're all brothers and sisters to Christ if we do the will of God. Now, God was against you worshiping a graven image in the likeness of male or female. That hasn't changed. God is still against that. But if you make an androgynous image to represent Jesus' image through art, that would be allowed, as long as you don't worship the image itself. What you do is you put the image up and you see it as a representation of God, but not God itself. You can't worship a graven image and get into heaven. This is a sin against God. So you have to make it art. You have to pray not to the statue, but to Jesus, who you're trying to represent through this statue. So that's part of the problem with the Catholic Church. But at the same time, if you make Jesus androgynous as he's shown in the Bible, then God will forgive you your iniquity and your idolatry. If you give Jesus female breasts, or have a girdle girt at his chest to show that he was androgynous, then God will forgive you for your idolatry of him. That's why the Gnostics said that Jesus wasn't crucified, but that another man stood in his place. That Jesus was the mocking Messiah, but he wasn't. What he means is what they meant is if you make Jesus male and he was androgynous, then you're changing the image of the Son of God into that like to corruptible men. And Jesus wasn't a man. He was the Son of God. He wasn't male or female.